Aging. Everybody does it, nobody loves it. But if you're not sleeping well, you're speeding your clock forward, not back. 80 million Americans struggle every night. Twice that number suffer at least once per week. Turn Back Your Clock is speaking with top sleep experts and therapists to help you get better sleep and more of it. Welcome to the Pursuit of Sleepiness interview series.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Turn Back Your Clock with James Kuhn. I am James, and this is the Pursuit of Sleepiness series that we're doing for people having trouble with sleep. It's a very important phase of our life. A third of our lives is spent sleeping or trying to sleep, and if you're not sleeping well, you're suffering in a lot of ways. And so this series is, we are tapping into some fantastic people, very talented people that have studied and trained and learned how, through different ways, to help people get back to sleeping and sleeping well. And we are pleased to be able to welcome a new acquaintance, a new friend of mine, Sandy Ames, who is a certified hypnotherapist, and she's in the New York City area, but she's able to help people anywhere because just like she and I are communicating from a great distance right now, she can help you wherever you are. She helps people with a wide range of issues, not just sleep. But Sandy is so much more than that. I was looking into her background, and her range of experience includes television and radio and corporate America. And, well, rather than let me just spout on, let's just, welcome Sandy. And Sandy, welcome, and thank you for being here with us. And why don't you kind of, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background?
You can spout on anytime. I was very much enjoying that. Thank you. So, but you said it. So I'm a hypnotherapist, and one of the things we work on with people is sleep. I have an Audible book on Audible, an audio book. It's called Sleep Now. And literally 2 minutes ago, I just got off the phone with them because it's been on Audible for over a year. And they used to put if you have Audible, they have this guy's voice that comes on. He's like, we hope you enjoyed this Audible selection.
And ruins it.
People would fall asleep in 14 minutes with the Sleep Now Audible book, and then the guy would wake them up. Anyway, so I called and I said, please, can you remove that guy? And they said, oh, we're so sorry. Yeah. Well, months later, yesterday, I had a client say, listen, I downloaded Sleep Now. I really like it, except there's this lady who wakes me up at the end. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Then so all they did was switch genders.
Anyway, so they just called me to say they removed all other voices. So download Sleep Now, and if anybody else's voice is on there, tell me, and I will wake them up in the middle of the night. So you can listen to that app to fall asleep. But sleeping is where we lose weight. Sleeping is where we heal. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. So in our sleep, so many amazing things happen. I mean, I can even go into, probably not today, but how you have what we call venting dreams at specific times during your sleep, and we can monitor and gauge that very simply. And through certain signs and symbols and information that we get from you writing down your dreams, it's not something you can look up in a sleep book, which is an explanation for another time. We do it through hypnosis and the talking part of the therapy. Your mind is giving you answers and information beyond anything you even imagine you can comprehend now here in your conscious waking state.
Wow. There's like 8 jewels and nuggets in there that I'd never heard before. And I'm constantly, out there sponging up cool information. And now you've just given me a whole bunch more things I want to look into. I'm going to have to ask you, later on about where I could go get some of that information, unless you could, share something.
Well, what we do is I'll hypnotize you. We'll work on your venting dreams through hypnosis. You'll come back to me. You're going to share with me what you wrote, and it is mind-blowing, the information you're going to get back from me.
That's pretty wild. That sounds
that's next time.
An adventure. So let's, I have some notes here that I shared with you in advance, and I think these are things that are good for people to that have never had any experience in this space, but are having trouble with something. And sleep in this case, I'm sure that's why they're watching this particular program. What should people understand about hypnosis? What do you think that, some of the maybe common myths that you might want to dispel for people who are like, hypnosis,
Right. So it's very simple. You come in and you cluck like a chicken.
Okay, that's what I was hoping, because I really I'm wondering what that looks like when I try to write it down when I wake up.
everybody goes through a state of hypnosis at least twice a day. It's many, many more, but ones that we can simply understand is when you are waking up from sleep, and then in that state when you're finally falling asleep at night, there's that twilight twinkle sort of phase. That's hypnosis. Have you ever been driving and you got from A to B and you don't remember how you got from A to B, but you got from A to B? You're in a state of hypnosis. Maybe a song came on and it elicited a memory and a sensation. You know, that's all hypnosis. One of my favorite ways of describing it is you go to the movies. Now, if I said, sit in that uncomfortable chair for 2 hours with nothing on the movie screen, how long would you want to sit there?
Till the popcorn ran out, probably.
Yeah. So looking at you, you can eat that entire tub in about, what, 3 minutes with extra butter?
Yeah, and salt.
So I'm going to give you, I like salt too. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes in that chair and you're gone. But then why is it that you can watch, isn't Aquaman like a 3-hour movie? How can you watch Aquaman in 3D for 3 hours, however long it is, and not feel your legs? But yet without Aquaman, it's a couple minutes and you want to be out of there. You're in hypnosis, which is why when Freddy Krueger comes out, your heart physically beats faster. Now, if I said, hey, make your heart beat faster, you think it's going to work right now? I'm not that good.
Right.
Not that good. So how does a scary movie make your heart beat faster? There are physiological, which means body, changes that happen because you're in a state of hypnosis. Now, when you're at that scary movie and Freddy Krueger comes out, are you going to get up and run out of there? You might. You could. You could.
A crappy movie theater, I might.
You could if you wanted to, and it's the same thing with hypnosis. You know, okay, I'm in a state now where my mind and body are learning, and you're taking in the information on a very deep, deep subconscious level. So you don't want to get up and leave because it feels good, but you can, and you certainly can get up, have a drink of water, go to the bathroom. So hypnosis is really like being at the movies, and you're creating, or together we're creating this, whatever it is you're wanting to work on. And in this case, you sleeping soundly, deeply, restfully in a restorative state, because when the brainwaves get to what we can call a delta state or something similar, that's an equivalent state of hypnosis. It's also the equivalent state when you're in a good meditation for 30 minutes. That is the equivalent, you can look this up, it's scientific, of 8 hours of sleep. What we're really creating here is a brain wave state where you are in a receptive mode, where the body sheds old weight that it doesn't need anymore. It sheds old limiting beliefs. And it's also a place of learning and healing. So it's in that deep sleep state, which is why it's so important, as you know, to get that sleep. And that's how it feels in hypnosis. Sleep is one of the things we can work on. We often do with no matter what people come in for the obvious reasons. So what then, now that you know that hypnosis is like going to the movies, and it could be a happy movie. It's just, it really feels like that. And so, like, for example, when people come in for weight loss, just as your heart can beat faster at a scary movie, that's how the body makes changes and loses weight. It makes physical changes based on this movie that we're believing. And I got to move this thing off my phone.
Okay, so that actually is a good segue into, you know, some of the most common conditions that you treat with hypnosis. It sounds like, you know, obviously weight loss is one, sleep is another. I saw some, you know, fascinating thing on your website about Hypno Birthing, which I've then read.
Which I just did with my partner. With my partner, yes. Wow. Yeah, so, it was exciting because I got to be in the hospital all the way through with her because she's my partner.
That's amazing. So talk a little bit about that, just, you know, for a minute or two. I know we are stressed.
I'll tell you a couple things about that. Number one, now she's my partner, so she's not my client, right? And we had a baby together. She made this one. I made the last one. So when I first started working with her on this, I said, you know, I'm gonna pinch you right here, and it hurts. If you pinch yourself right there, it hurts. That's where they put a lot of needles in, right? That's one of the reasons I do it there, for people going through any sort of surgery. And you, of course, have to prepare for the possibility of C-section or anything that may happen. So I gave her a pinch, and she was like, ow, this is what you do to people? Yes. Yes, I do. So within 5 minutes of that initial waking state pinch, I then pinched her harder, longer, and twisted it around. And I said, oh, she's in hypnosis. I said, open your eyes and look. And she was like, oh, it's amazing. So that's just one of the little nuggets about hypnobirthing. We learn to work with sensation in the body. And ultimately, no matter what a woman is going to end up needing throughout the birthing process, whether it's a birth with or without drugs or a C-section, anything in between, we go through all of that various stuff and we learn how to work with it. So the last thing I want to say about that is, because I work with people also on pre and post surgery, so many times over the last few years, I go through a much longer winded thing where, I say, and then you see yourself walking through the doors of the operating, or being rolled in through the doors of the operating room. And in that moment, even beyond your conscious awareness, without thinking about it, you're going to drop into this comfortable state or deeper. Now there's more to it, but that's basically what we do. We do it in slow motion. We do it over and over again. They see themselves being rolled into the operating room. Okay, well, here I am. We ended up in C-section, but I was the other mom. So my partner's in the room. I've got the thing over my hair and the paper suit that I'm wearing, and it's almost midnight. We've been going through this for like 24 hours, and so she's gonna have the surgery. I walk through the doors of the operating room, and boom, I fell into this deep state of hypnosis, and I was like, what just happened? And I heard my own voice repeating those words, and I went, oh my God. I said it so many times. It just happened beyond my, I was no thought. It was beyond my conscious awareness. The deeper part of me, boom, dropped me right in. It was amazing.
Wow, that is pretty cool. I'm getting more and more curious about trying it out. Even like I actually, resolved my own sleep issues, which was what kind of got me interested in pursuing this whole project. But I'm curious about, testing out some of these experiences, just to have them for myself, but for, maybe for other things. Let's talk about, why do you think, like, how and why does hypnosis work, do you believe? Or what's the
how and why? How and why? How is scientific. It works. Well, let me ask you, do you think we get into a state of hypnosis from relaxation or anxiety?
Relaxation.
You knew that was going to be a trick question. We actually confuse your mind and we overload it, because the further you get from a comfort level, the faster and harder you'll drop the other direction. So when people come in, they're like, I was late and I missed my exit, or I couldn't find a parking spot. I'm like, oh, good. High level of anxiety, you're going to drop in deep and fast. Why does it work? Because it's how we're wired. Your natural state is a deep calm, comfort, harmony within your cells, healing state. We have trillions of cells in our body. This is science. Each and every one of those trillions of cells has its own consciousness and a blueprint for perfect health. Our cells are always simply asking, like a little child, I want, I want, I want, I want. They feel no shame, they feel no guilt, and they haven't counted how many times they said I want. They just ask for what they want because they know exactly what they need for perfect health. And as the cells are asking, if a person is resistant, the space between the two is pain or discomfort, whether it's mental, emotional, or cancer. Anything. Headache, the worst thing in the world, it all comes from the cells are asking, and where are we resisting? The space between is pain or discomfort. Does that make sense?
It does.
So why it works is because we're wired that way. Okay.
So let's get practical. I think it's a good idea for, in pretty much in any situation, to manage expectations. So people, sitting here now that are saying, wow, you know what, this sounds really intriguing. This may actually be for me. What would you say are intelligent ways to manage people's expectations coming in? Like they're, obviously they're not going to cluck like a chicken. They are in control. All hypnosis.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't know. Are you that good?
So what is the expectation? It's a great question. For every person, it's different. And for every situation, what are they coming in for? So who are you and what are you here for? Generally, I have found certain things people are coming in for take a certain average amount of time. And I decided only recently to post that on my website. So you can go to sandyameshypnotherapy.com and stop smoking. You're going to stop smoking on your first day, but I do want to see you twice. And I'm going to ask you to listen to this amazing, I just recorded a new one, amazing MP3 every day for 30 days. Now you become a permanent ex-smoker on day one. I need you to commit to 30 days of listening to this thing, because that's going to really seal it in. Otherwise you could do it, but you're just working on willpower. I know what I want. to see in my clients. Do people come more than twice? Yeah, sometimes. Do people only come once and not come back? Sure. Does it work? Yeah. People always, I'm giving you 100%, always experience a shift at and after the first session. But to get to your goal, depending on what you want, generally for weight loss, I say give it 4 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's how I like 4. You can do it in 1.
Do you see any difference in the efficacy of doing this over a televised, telemedicine type of situation versus in person? Or are they this
100% the same? 100% the same. No difference, because we're working on vibrational levels. We're working on mind levels. When people are in person, there are times I do hands-on things, and I'm a touchy-feely person. I like being in the same space. As far as efficacy, no difference. I see people on, I used to call it Skype. Now it's really just FaceTime or Zoom all the time.
Okay. And that's, that kind of goes along with managing expectations, because people might, people could be watching this anywhere in the country and want to work with you. And they just need to know that they can do that just as effectively the way we're communicating right now. It'll have the same impact. It'll be just as good for them, just as powerful, just as impactful and effective. So that's, good to know. And obviously that answers the next question. You are, telecapable, and that do you do more of your appointments that way, or more of them in person, or about half and half?
I do a lot. Like, I have clients in London, clients in Florida, clients in California. I have clients in New York who would prefer to just see me on their phone. Mm-hmm. Probably I do see more people in person, really. Okay. At this point. That could change, but I do. Yeah, they like to come in.
Well, if this show reaches as many people as I expect it to, that may change. That may shift. We'll move the needle. I know we're getting short on time, so let me ask you another practical question for everybody watching. A first session, what should people expect?
First session is the most nebulous, because you're coming from where you're coming from and I'm coming from so we take this bubble and we go like this with it. Mm-hmm. After that, it's sort of pretty easy what to expect. First thing I'm going to do is send you a 6-page intake form.
Okay.
Almost everyone reports back that they loved doing it because they answered questions that they hadn't even thought of. I have uncovered with people things that I worked with a woman who's much older than I am. She's about my mom's age. She was going through some issues. And one of the questions on the intake form that a lot of people might even skip, and nothing is important, I noticed that when she was a kid, she said something about her mother, and I asked her some deeper questions about that. And what we found out was she was basically told as a child to go in the corner and not make any noise. Now, how would you know that, right? If she's here for something else 60 years later, 70 years later, right? So we were just touching on that one thing. We went through an entire hypnosis where in her mind, not out loud, because that's too far for a person like that, in her mind, I had her scream at the top of her lungs, and you could watch these changes going on in her body. Now, I do something like that for myself all the time when I'm running right over here in Central Park. In my mind, I'll go really fast for a little while and I'll scream, but in my mind. And then the feeling you get when you come out of that. So we slowly worked up to her verbalizing, mm-hmm. expressing, changes everything. But so a little question about her mother that was completely unrelated. So you're going to go through a massive intake form. I'm going to teach you on paper how your subconscious mind works, how you were programmed to believe whatever you believe. We're going to uncover some things that you believe. And then we're going to do all kinds of fun little games and tests. So I learn how your mind works, because just to put it very black and white, some people speak English in their mind. Some people speak Chinese. Some people speak black. Some people speak white. I need to know how to speak to that person's unconscious, because I know one of your questions is, can everyone be hypnotized? And the answer is 100% yes if you come to me. Mm-hmm. No one, there's no one I can't hypnotize, but you can go elsewhere and not be hypnotized. You have to know how to speak to that person. I do thorough testing on your mind and my language to know that I'm getting it right for you.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it also probably valid to say somebody has to be, open and accepting of the idea of being hypnotized? If they come in determined to not be hypnotized, then they're probably going to win that fight. You're not going to hypnotize somebody who's like, test me. I bet you can't hypnotize me. They're probably not.
No means no. No means no.
Yeah, exactly. So do you really, that, everybody, don't do this to see if you can or can't be hypnotized. If you're really not interested in being hypnotized, you're not interested in getting help from this process, why waste everybody's time? And since it's not free, you'd be wasting your money as well. So I think the last thing we should, let people know is, how does somebody get started with you? What's the best way to reach out?
So go to my website. It's sandyameshypnotherapy.com.
Okay.
You can call me. My phone number's on there. You can call me. You can email me. That's probably the easiest way. You could go running in Central Park and see the lady with her headphones on being like, you can find me that way and be like, oh. But yeah, just go to my website. And I want to also, while you're on my website, because I know you're here regarding sleep. Mm-hmm. I'm on my website now because I want to tell you exactly what it looks like. Oh, hold on. I have to refresh. If you go down to the links at the bottom, I'm looking at it now. If you go down to the links at the bottom, it says featured in. If you go to the #hippie.net, or you can go to press, and also it's the same thing. You click on #hippie.net. It's someone who has done some hypnotherapy with me, and she wrote specifically about weight loss and sleep. So read what she wrote, and it talks about some hormones that you had mentioned when you and I first talked on the phone. Mm-hmm. I think it's a really great article to read. So sandyameshypnotherapy.com, go down to the end and click on the #hippie.net thing, and it'll take you to that article. It's about weight loss, but also sleep. Also on my website, and I'm clicking so I can tell you what it says. If you click on video blog, I have 2 videos that are related to each other. I wanted just 2 short different ones, both about sleep and hypnotherapy and how you lose your weight and sleep. And one of them is called Cognitive Hypnotherapy for Losing Weight, Secrets Revealed. The other one is Hypnosis for Weight Loss, Lose Weight in Your Sleep. They're each about 2 minutes. It's going to explain a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? I almost forgot, and I think I mentioned this when we were emailing. I was thinking maybe if you have something useful that people could take away from this session that they might, want to either think about or wrap their mind about, or something useful, a little nugget of self-help that they can maybe start using before they even reach out to you, something you could leave them with.
Yes, there are many. So when you go to therapy, a lot of times you're going to get behavioral changes, which are really valuable and wonderful. Mm-hmm. What we do through hypnosis is we make those changes a habit, and we make those changes permanent. So you're doing these sort of better things without even thinking about it. So one of the there are many behavioral changes I go over with people, but then I put it into the hypnosis. But you can certainly do this now, and if it works for you, then you've done it and you don't need me. Drink coffee all you want. Stronger the better as far as I'm concerned. However, could you stop by 2 p.m., please? If you want to get to bed on time, stop drinking coffee. And even better, just have it in the morning. So I love coffee, and I right out there is coffee that I didn't finish, and now it's getting too late. And so I'm like, I'm going to throw it away, because yes, I could drink it and I would enjoy it, and then tomorrow I would regret it because of how my sleep pattern would go tonight. Mm-hmm. Stop drinking your coffee earlier. Do less of the caffeinated stuff. Drink more water. If I could leave anyone anywhere with anything they can do, it's something I got from Abraham Hicks. It's 2 very specific things: walking and water. Those are the greatest things you could ever do. And the walking and the moving and the refreshing, it will clear your thoughts, and it will send chemicals through your body that are going to help you heal. And you are going to sleep better. So walking, water, and cut down on the caffeine, and just do it earlier. And if you want a really good coffee, come see me. We'll go out together and have it at 9 a.m.
Okay. That's good advice. And I think on that note, I would like to just say we have been here with certified hypnotherapist of New York City, Sandy Ames, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here with us on The Pursuit of Sleepiness, presented by Turn Back Your Clock with James Kuhn. Have a good night, everybody.